This is the new BMW 4 Series, and it's a little bit like Sweden's handling of the coronavirus outbreak, in the way that it's rather controversial, but it may prove to be the right choice in the long run. And the right choice for me is to take this mask off because it's steaming up my glasses, but it does mean that, Lewis, you're going to have to make sure you're 2 meters back, keep socially distanced. Anyway, let's continue. New 4 Series, kind of car you're going to be considering if you're also looking at something like a Mercedes C-Class Coupe or an Audi A5. Starts from just under £40,000. Let's start this video by talking about the design. In particular, this controversial grille, which is like, oh my God, what have they done? Actually, do you know what? In reality, it's all right. In fact, I think it's going to grow on me and I'm going to end up liking it. The shape actually harks back to BMWs of the past. Here's an old BMW that it mimics. There you go. Also, if you look at it from the side, you'll see this car's got a very shark-like face, so BMW. Now here's a shark. You see the similarity? I think people are going to warm to this grille. I have. Though even if you don't, there will be aftermarket companies who will do add-ons where you can hide some of the grille. And to be fair, people say it's a huge grille. That's smaller than an Audi grille, surely. Now, this car has really sleek headlamps. LEDs are standard. This is the M440i, so it's a bit more sporty than the standard car. So it has like dark grey elements to this grille, bigger front bumpers, and look at this, vents that are real. These feed air over the wheels to smooth the airflow, reduce drag. Speaking of the wheels, get 18-inch alloys as standard. These are 19s and they're unique to the M440i. Moving down the side, look, it's sloping roofline. It's like a little 8 Series. But that does bring me to the element of the car that I'm not so keen on. This part here is all just a little bit kind of soft and not aggressive enough. I think the old 4 Series just looked a bit more muscular. This is the part of the car I like the least, actually. Let's move around to the back. This car is longer and wider than the old 4 Series. Slightly taller, but not by much. And when we come to the back, it's very good look in the rear of this car, actually. These thin tail lights, a little boot lip spoiler. You've got a diffuser, which quite clearly is fake. It's not going to be diffusing anything. These elements here, they're fake as well. But at least the exhausts aren't fake, though they are a bit of an exaggeration. Look, so this is a huge surround, that is. But inside, there's just a normal exhaust pipe. Though at least you do get 2 of them. And they're not completely fake like you might find on an Audi. Anyway, let's check out the inside because I bet it's rather similar to a 3 Series. And oh look! Indeed it is. It's not a bad thing though, because the 3 Series interior is the highest quality in its class, I think. So it's the same with the 4 Series. Lots of soft touch materials, even extending down here. All very nice and plush, and everything is super solid. It's a nice interior. So you've got your controls for your infotainment system here, your driving stuff there, your stereo, your climate control with physical buttons, and then your lights and stuff here, and then various other things on your steering wheel, such as your cruise control and the controls for your stereo. There is something new for the 4 Series. So you get some brand new sport seats. You get leather interior as standard. This one has the upgraded M seats. Look, they've got a LEN logo there. So they're all very, very nice, very sculptured. They're about £900 they are. Probably worth it though. In fact, the seating position in this car is good. So you've got the extendable bases here like this. You can tilt and move the seat in many, many different ways. And the driving position is very BMW-y, which means that you're quite low down, but it feels nice and sporty. Though if you're a short arse, you can always jack it up so you can see over the bonnet if you need to, which of course you will need to do if you're driving, right? Now let's talk about the infotainment system. So as standard, you get these 2 big screens. Let's talk about the main one first. You've got BMW's Idrive. It's a touch screen. You can control it with a swivel wheel. You can write things on here. This little pad that's quite difficult for most people in the UK because unless you're left-handed, it just becomes a mess. So you're not going to bother with that. There are voice commands. You activate it by going, "Hey BMW," and it'll ignore you. BMW, or you can just press this button. Cancel.
Cheers.
Cheers. Also, you have gesture controls, so you can do things like that. Turn the stereo off and on. I like gesture controls. When I had a BMW 8 Series, I used them a lot. But what I didn't have in the 8 Series, which this has now, is Android Auto, as well as Apple CarPlay. And look, it's connected wirelessly. No wire yet. If I press this button, there is my Android Auto, and that's what I'm going to use. And this screen's nice and responsive, and it's quicker than the actual map system that you have from BMW, which is actually a good sat nav. It's just not as good as Google Maps. Tell you what I'm not so keen on though, and it's BMW's digital driving display. I don't like the way you have the backwards rev counter, but the biggest problem for me with it is it's all just a bit dark and miserable, and you can't change the views like you can in an Audi A5. Let's talk about storage, because it's good in this car. So look, this one's got a wireless charging pad there for your mobile phone, and there's a USB port there. You've got 12-volt socket there. You have some decent sized cup holders. Will they fit the big bottle? Not quite. But the door bins are huge, so they will fit a big bottle. Look, I've got a special BMW branded bottle there. That'll fit in there. You've got some more storage under here, quite a lot actually, with a USB-C import there. The glove box is average, but it is lined with felt, so things don't rattle around in there, and it feels expensive when you open it. And down here, there's another little storage area where you'll probably, I don't know, keep your house keys or whatever. Anyway, let's check out the back seats, because this is a coupe, which means getting into the back is not great. At least the seat moves forward out the way. I'm going to move this one out the way so you can see what's going on. Come on, get out the way. And just shut the door. Come back, please come back. Come on, let's see what it's like. So this car's wheelbase, so the distance between the front and the rear wheels, is quite a bit more than on the old 4 Series. And this is the result, look. So this should be in my driving position. Legroom's fine. What's not fine? Can you tell? Yeah, headroom is not great. I mean, you can get away with slouching a bit, but these seats are quite upright, so it's quite uncomfortable slouching. You're going to end up with a hunchback if you slouch too much in the back of this car. You do have an armrest here, and I like the way BMW covers up the cup holders so you don't end up putting your arm in them. See, so you can just rest like that and be comfortable. And check it out, guys, look, through loading, yay. So you can, I don't know, have a long item you could carry some skis, or I know, bits of wood for your decking in here, and have 2 people in the back. You've also got, look, flip up covers for the ISOFIX anchor points, and look how easy those are to get to. And because these covers stay attached, you're less likely to lose them. Here in the back, this car has climate control, so you can set the temperature in here, so it's tri-zone, and 2 USB-C ports there, so you can charge your mobile devices, and a little storage area here. See if I can fit my can in it. Just about. So you're not going to want to carry a can once it's open like that, are you? It's going to end up messy. One thing I forgot to point out to you is this, look. With certain models, you can get the M-style seat belts. I love that. Very nice. Anyway, let's check out the boot. Come on. Right. Okay. The load capacity is 440 litres. By comparison, an Audi A5 Coupe's boot capacity is 455 litres, so 50 more useful litres. The Mercedes C-Class Coupe's boot is only 380 litres, so this is mid-table. It's actually quite a big boot if you look at it, and it's square, which will make it easy to pack. And really, if you wanted a boot that's bigger and more practical, but you still want a BMW like this, BMW 3 Series Touring. But let's continue with this one for a moment. So you've got some nettage here, got some more nettage here, which I'm using to secure my Audi bag. See, I'm not a BMW fanboy, guys. Look, I've got an Audi bag in a BMW review. One good feature about this car is that as standard, you get 3-way folding rear seats, and you release them by pulling these levers here. Though you do have to then look, lean in, and then if you need to, you can carry longer items like that, but obviously this is always going to get in the way a little bit. There's a couple of hooks there you can hang things off. There's a 12-volt socket here, and let's see what's underneath here. Can't even get underneath there. We'll leave that bit. Let's go talk about the engine. Oh look, electric tailgate. Right, so classic BMW, double pull of the release to open up the bonnet, and here we have the engine. Love that, gas strut bonnet, so it feels nice and expensive. Now let's talk about the engines. The range kicks off with the 420i with a 2-litre turbocharged petrol with 184 horsepower. Then there's the 430i, which has a 2-litre turbocharged petrol with 258 horsepower. Then this M440i, which has a 3-litre straight-six turbo petrol with 374 horsepower. Also, it's all-wheel drive rather than just being rear-wheel drive. Now we come to the diesels, kicking off with the 420d, which has a 2-litre engine with 100 190 horsepower. Then there's the 430D, which has a 3-litre straight-six turbo diesel with 286 horsepower. And then at the top of the diesel range, it's the M440D, which has a 3-litre straight-six diesel with 340 horsepower. Now, the 420D is available as rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, whereas the other diesels are all-wheel drive. And if you go for one of the M440 cars, petrol or diesel, then you get uprated brakes, load stiffened sport suspension, which has adaptive dampers, and a rear sports differential. The other two trims low down the range are the M Sport and the M Sport Plus, which is basically like M Sport but with a few more bits and pieces. So which version of the 4 Series is the best engine and trim combination? Now there is one thing that I should point out to you guys, and that's the fact that you can't get the 4 Series with a manual gearbox at all. It's an 8-speed auto only, and for some people who like to change gear themselves manually, you're going to find that a bit annoying. And that brings you on to 5 other annoying things about the new 4 Series. If you've got a big phone like my Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, it won't fit in the mobile phone slot when you've got it in the case. It's just a bit too big, so you can't get it onto the wireless charging pad. Another thing that's a bit annoying about this layout in here is that USB input there. So if someone's got their phone on the wireless pad, then someone else wants to charge off that. Whenever you go to remove your phone, you end up knocking that, and it eventually just damages the connection. The integrated headrests on these sports seats really do block your view when you sat in the back seats. Look, can't see anything. Hello, I'm going to have to travel like this or like that. It's not great. If you want lumbar support for the front seats, which of course you do, you're going to have to pay extra for them. However, they're actually included in a pack. It's the only way you can get them. It's the comfort pack, and it costs £1,950. And that's because it includes other stuff such as the heated steering wheel and the electronic boot lid, which you may not want. How about clever adaptive cruise control, which will use radar to keep you a safe distance from the car in front and auto steer to keep you in lane? That's really good if you do long distances. Trouble is, if you want that, you can't have it individually either. It comes as part of a technology pack for £3,650. It means you're having to pay extra for stuff you might not need, like the Harman Kardon stereo and a Wi-Fi hotspot. Why can't we just have those options individually anymore? Need to occasionally be able to carry 3 people in the back of your car? Well, unfortunately, in this 4 Series, you can't look. There's only 2 rear seat belts. That is the price you pay for having a coupe. I like the way with BMWs you can still rev the engine all the way up to the red line when you're stationary to appreciate the exhaust note. Unfortunately with BMWs, they also play artificial synthesized noise with the speakers to enhance the experience. And once you know that, it all just seems a little bit spoiled. Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this. Here's 5. If you've accidentally left your door open, this little ambient lighting strip there flashes red as a warning. It's clever. Being a 2-door means that the 4 Series' body is stiffer than that of the 3 Series. Also, BMW's engineers have angled in its wheels slightly more for more negative camber. Plus, the car rides 21mm lower to the ground than the 3 Series, and all this means that this 4 Series is sportier to drive. To prove this is a premium coupe, look, you have frameless windows, and when you get in and shut the door, a little seatbelt butler brings you your seatbelt. Look, isn't that very kind of it? Now be off, butler, I'm done with you. As standard, the 4 Series gets front and rear parking sensors plus a reversing camera, but you can upgrade to this wonderful 3D surround system. Look at this. And you should be able to look around the car using gesture controls. Ooh, like that. Yes, I'm looking around the car. Or if you want to, you can control it using the wheel. And let's say you're heading into a car wash and you're worried about curbing your alloy wheels. Don't worry. There's a car wash mode which will help guide you in to the car wash without scraping your alloys as you enter. Brilliant idea. This 3-litre petrol plus all diesels get 48-volt mild hybrid technology. So you have a little starter motor generator, so when you're braking it actually recoups lost energy, puts it into a battery and then uses it to give you a little bit of a boost when you're overtaking to make everything nice and smooth. Also, it means that the actual stop-start system can operate when you're slowing down and not just stationary, and it's a lot smoother the way it works as well. Now it's time to drive this car, and the first thing I'm going to do is check out BMW's performance claims. So they say this M440i will do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. So I've got my specialist timing gear up here. I'm going to launch it, see what I really get. Hold it on the brake, release brake. Xdrive just takes off. And there we go. 0 to 60, 3.9 seconds. 3.9 seconds! I really can't believe it. That is impressive. I was pleased with that launch, but unfortunately the cameraman wasn't, so he's going to get me to do it again. No, I don't mind. Let's see if we can go quicker this time. I doubt it, but here goes. Oh. Oh my God! I've just done a 3.82. That's insane! This isn't even the full M version, and it's pulling amazing numbers. I can't wait to get in the M4 and see what that does. It's going to be insanely quick. Anyway, I'm on a little sprint circuit here, so this is a good opportunity for me to try out the car's handling. So I've got the gearbox in manual. I will put the stability control just on, well, into sports mode, and have a little bit of a drive. See what this thing goes around corners like. Xdrive's brilliant. It is rear drive bias, so it makes the car feel playful. It's set up in sports mode at the moment. In fact, I've got it in Sports Plus, so you've got the suspension on its firmest setting, which helps stop it leaning when you go through the corners. And it does feel very direct and sporty. Whoa. Oh, I did the classic clipping the windscreen wipers when I was counter steering. Such a schoolboy error, that. And this engine just picks up beautifully. Really good engine. It does feel a little bit sharper than the 3 Series, but then it should do really, shouldn't it? I like it. It handles well. It's pretty clear that the 4 Series can do the sporty bit, but can it do the sensible bit? After all, you're more likely to be spending time driving the car around town than hooning around a track. So let's see what it's like. One thing I've noticed is that even when I've got this suspension in the comfort mode, it's still quite firm, so you do feel certain bumps. It's not terrible, but it does just have a bit of an edge to it. One thing I can't fault is the gearbox. It's so smooth, so good at pulling away, so brilliant at choosing the right gear at the right time. It just works away seamlessly in the background. An absolutely cracking gearbox. Visibility is all right, looking forward. Though obviously being a coupe, you do have some restricted over-the-shoulder visibility. The rear window is quite shallow. It's wide though, but it is a bit obscured by those 2 fixed headrests on the back seats. What's not so good though is the rear 3/4. Because of that rear pillar's very thick, it does create quite a blind spot, which is annoying when you're putting it out at junctions or trying to manoeuvre while parking. Thankfully, you've got those all-round parking sensors and reversing camera as standard, so it's not such a problem. And if you're really rubbish at parking, you can pay to upgrade to the fully automated parking system, which will just park it in a bay for you, parallel park it, and basically do all the hassle of parking if you can't be bothered to do it. When you get out of the town and start to go a bit quicker, you do notice that this car's suspension actually gets a little bit better. It does feel very planted when you're going quickly, and if you need to suddenly overtake someone, this car will respond. Put your foot down, it takes off, and away you go. This engine is on point, and the gearbox, it's got the right gear for you right when you need it. And then when you're just cruising at speed, it's quite relaxing in here. It'd probably be a little bit quieter still if you just had normal tyres, not the run flats, because they do create just a little bit more road noise, but it's not obtrusive. It's a relaxing car to travel in, and one that you feel very safe and secure in as well. So then, what's my final verdict on the new BMW 4 Series? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon if you just don't like the look of that grille, avoid it. But if you do, then you should just go right ahead and buy it, because it's a really good car. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Also, let me know some of the reviews you'd like me to do in the comments below. Now, I want to point something out to you. You see, for some reason, the BMW Voice Assistant has now decided to work. So look. Hey BMW!
I'm here.
Oh, you are this time, are you? And why weren't you working before?
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, it's still fairly average. Mind you, all these voice-activated systems are fairly average. No one... Cancel!